Assalamu alaikum, bachcho. Very little late. So while we're starting this new lecture, has taken some time over there. How was your yesterday lecture? One has to speak only because yesterday there was many was speaking over there. It was recorded in that presentation. So I think when there is a lecture, nobody has to speak. After that, I'll give you time for that. For questions, we have to speak at that time. So switch off your voices so we can speak over there. So yesterday, last time we have done about that the bulk and sterile preparation in hospital. In hospital, how there is a sterile preparation. They have different units. No, do you know? Sometime when you go to a doctor when you are a kid, what he has to when he apply your injection, what first he has to give a spit swab. Nowadays, mostly they used to apply alcohol swabs. What's the use of that swab? Because they have to clean your skin. Means it has to free from microorganisms. So before sterility has to be done. So in your daily life, most of the things you have to sterile your utensils by heating whatever you have to do. Sometimes you have to boil. The ladies who have small kids, what they used to do, they have to boil that their feeding bottles. Why? Because they have to sterile that before using to that. Similarly, in a big hospitals, the central sterile supply room is very essential. It is a full department where the hospital belongings, such as linens, cloths, whatever utensils, the equipments, they have to be sterilized before applying to a patient. So our today's topic is central sterile supply room. Anyone has seen that mostly there is a big boiler in that in a hospital. What the function of boiler? It has to produce steam for sterilization. In certain hospitals, civil, JPM, wherever, there is a big boiler over there attached to that one, central sterile supply department. So we are coming to the definition of that. Services responsible for receiving, storing, processing, distributing, controlling professional supplies and equipments, because all the supplies in a hospital, when they are applied to a patient, must be free from microorganisms, because a patient when he's infected, he has to come with some infectious diseases, it has some with bacterial diseases when he comes for treatment. So the hospital premises must be free from microorganism, whatever different type of, you can know, fungi, wherever. So it must be in aseptic condition. So sterile, non-sterile for all user units. So they have to send these all things to that CSSD department, Central Sterilization Sterile Supply Department, where it has to be sterilized. Then it has to return back to their respective units. But it's a very important facility after that supplies sterile instruments, because without that you cannot reduce the hospital acquired infection, because mostly the people who used to come in a hospital, they have certain infection or sometimes infection inside the hospital. So when you use these sterile equipment, sterile linen, sterile cloth, so it reduces hospital acquired infections. What type of articles are sterilized in a sterile department? Mostly diagnostic sets like lumbar puncture sets, sternal puncture sets, treatment sets like cut down sets, aspiration sets, dressing materials, OT linens and instruments, rubber gloves, catheters, IV sets, and infusions. These materials has to be sterilized according to various methods of sterilization. When in next slides, we'll learn about various methods of sterilization. So rubbers have different type of sterilizer used. IV sets have different sterilizer has to be used. For clothings, different sterilizer has to be used. So different type of sterilizer has to be used for different type of materials. So if you go through the history, for the it has started when they come to know about the history of microorganisms. When the microorganisms was discovered, the history of aseptic techniques was started from that. Discovery the need for aseptic technique in handling and sterilizing the equipment was started from the microorganisms. So now it is a modern concept of CSD was derived during Second World War. Now every hospital mostly they have CSD. You have to go in a smaller clinic nowadays. They are not using that syringe sterilizer, but earlier in 2-3 decades back, they used to have a sterilizer. Similarly, I have told you earlier that the mothers have to sterilize their bottles in hot water. So every material has to be sterilized according to its requirement. Now it was 1928 when American college surgeons first started CSD in their hospital. Then in 1955, Cambridge Military Hospital started sterilization. In 1958 in Belfast, they started CSD department. So most of the time in the UK started. In Newfield Provincial Hospital Trust, they have started CSSD. So it is an integral part of every hospital, every tertiary care or a primary care, wherever they must have sterilized the materials used or applied to patients. So it is an integral part of a hospital. Is it clear? So next we have to go, what are the aims? Why we have to use, we have a department? Because you know about the pharmacy department has to provide medicines, drugs to the patients. Now, what's the aim of the hospital? That it has to provide safe and sterilized supplies to all the user unit of hospitals, because supplies must be free from organisms. So if you go through aim, it provides safe and sterile supplies to all user units of the hospital. Now, what's the objective? Why we have to use this CSSD department? It has to provide efficient, economic, uniform source of sterile supply for the care and treatment of sick person, for the ailments. So what they use? They give efficient, economic, uniform source of sterile supply for the care of patients. What they assist, purchase, department of decision making and selection of goods. What they do further? They assist management of hospital and standardization of goods, cleaning, packaging, labeling and dating of materials. Equipments to highly specialized units to educate students, nurses, pharmacists, and staff that they must be free from organisms. Effectively in hospitals, infections control committee, because if there is a low level of infection, the recovery of patient will be more. If there is a more infection level, the recovery will be slow. So for the infection control, they apply all type of techniques in a CSSD department. Now it must be situated, it must be located very close and reachable area where all from various units or operation theaters, labor room, they have to send their materials for sterilization over there. So should be ideally located in close proximity to the casualty ward, wherever. So its reach must be easy, because everyone has to reach easily. It has to be in a central place from where all the material has to be shifted to that area. So what the pharmacy has to do? You are thinking that, sorry, you are thinking that it is central department. Pharmacy, what the pharmacy has to do over there? So what he has to do, prepare various solutions, bulk and chemicals which are used for sterilization, transport, tanks for bottling. So they have to prepare various solutions. Mixture of chemicals in dry state, which dissolves in the specified volume of distilled water, result in a desired product, which is then packed and sterilized by this panel. Nowadays, mostly they use sterilization indicators. They have various indicators. They are placed over that material in form of a tape or indicator. Now, they have to change their colors up to desired temperature. So it shows that the content of that bag that are sterilized. So mostly they use that very sterilized tapes or indicators placed inside that one, to be sterilized materials. So what the function? It has dual function. First, cleaning, packaging, distribution of medical equipment, because laundry is also a part of that CSR. Laundry, first, they have various washing machines. They have what? They clean. Then packaging and distribution of medical equipment. Second, nurse, manufacturing of sterile fluids. Sterile fluids, which is the responsibility of the pharmacist. So various sterile fluids has to be prepared by a pharmacist. Workflow, mostly it has various layout plan because they have various 4 areas through which they have to be in a schedule. First is the unclean and washing area. First, where they have to bring the material in a washing area, assembly and packing area. Third one is sterilization area, the sterile area. And the first unclean washing area where they have washed the linen and cloth washed, then they have returned back to that one department. Packaging, then they have the material which has to be sterilized. It is placed under a sterile area where various boilers. I'll show you various machines where the material is sterilized. So the working area, I told you, the sterile area. In case of sterile area for manufacture of medicine, is the similar area is applied over here for CSC department for sterile area. Now first, it is, you can see this chart. First is places the receiving. The receiving area is there, then disassembling area is there. Sorry. Then first they have to clean. Then they go for again processing. Then they go assembling, drying and packaging over there. Then after that, it has to go for sterilization. That is, it has clean area. Then they go for a sterile area. Then in sterile area, it has to be stored. When it is completely sterile, then it has to be dispensed, issued to various department of the hospital, ICU, labor room, OT, wherever it is wards, emergency. So it has to be dispatched in that area. How it has to be done? The process has to be done. Operation is first, they have rinsing, they have cleaning, then they're drying. First rinsing through various machines, then cleaning, then they go for drying. Assembly, damaged items. If the material which is not to be reusable, it has to be condemned, it has to be thrown out, it has to be discarded. Or if they are repairable, they go for repair. Then they go for packaging. I will show the special packaging for that one material. It has to wrappers placed in certain shapes. Then they have to label where it has to go. They're done for identification, date, contents, identification number, bar, whatever policy of the hospital, it has to be done. So first they have rinsing, cleaning by machines, whatever, drying, inspection, packaging, then labeling. These are 6 steps has to be done in an operation of a CSSD department. Then the material which has to be sterilized, it has to go for sterilizers. So there are 4 types of sterilizers: heat sterilizer, ethylene oxide sterilizer, chemical sterilization, radiation sterilization. You know, most of you have seen any disposable syringe, there is written over ETO. What it means is it is sterilized by ethylene oxide sterilizer, because it cannot be sterilized through heat sterilization because it's thermolabile. Therefore, it has to be sterilized with. So whenever you have an experience, you can see an disposable syringe written over ETO, sterilized by ethylene oxide. So that has to be done. So it's heat sterilization has further 2 parts: dry heat and sterilization steam sterilization. Heat sterilization has 2 classes. First is dry heat, second sterilization through steam. Second is ethylene oxide sterilization. Third is chemical. Fourth is radiation. So these are various types of sterilizer which are used according to the requirement of the material which has to be received in that area, in that department. So you can understand that there are 4 types of sterilizer has to be used for sterilizations. Now, heat sterilization. First is that dry heat sterilization. So mostly, sorry, Mostly hot air oven has to be used and carried out at mostly temperature is at 160 degrees Celsius. So it is a hot air oven has to be used in which glasswares, glass syringes. Nowadays, mostly you are using disposable syringes, cutting edge syringes, needles, which has with oil paraffin, it has to be sterilized under dry heat sterilizations. These are the various figure of dry heat ovens. You may have seen oven at your home that is electric, but here it is a dry heat. Simply electricity has to be given in this. It is a figure of a dry heat oven under which you can sterilize these materials which are mostly sterilized at a high temperature. Then second one is steam sterilizer. It is safe, it is inexpensive and time saving. There should be proper coordination between pressure, temperature and time article. Are subject to sterilize in 121 degrees Celsius in 10 to 15 minutes and 134 degree in 3 minutes. So in case of that hot air oven, they need more time. And here in this such case, in less time that can be sterilized. The outer layer of microorganism is softened by steam, which coagulates internal portion of organism. In this way, steam sterilization is effective against microorganisms. Machine operated either by supply of steam through a boiler or by inbuilt electric steam generator. So the two type of steam generators it is a boiler through which big boiler you can see in very hospitals, or it is a electric steam generators. So they are applied for glasswares, containers, vessels, linens, rubbers, article of operation instruments. So they are all sterilized through steam sterilizers. So this is a big sterilizer. You can use, it has a more space for more material. As compared to hot oven, they are smaller. They can use a limited number of materials can be here. You can use a big, you can apply big number of materials in a big boilers over ovens over there. These are steam has to be applied, or you can see these two figures over there. It is more bigger than autoclave is there, because in big hospitals there's the materials, the quantity of material is very much more, so they need more boilers over there. Now this is repacked. This is packed. How it is packed? It is packed like this. Then they are placed under the sterilizers. The material is not placed like this. It has packed in various utensils and then wrap over. This is wrap over that one is a sterilization tape. When the color is changed up to that temperature, they say yes, the material is sterilized. So it is wrapped and then they have applied over the sterilization tape over there. Like ethylene oxide sterilization. What ethylene oxide as biocide to destroy bacteria, virus, fungus, other microorganisms are sterilized through the ethylene oxide, which are damaged by high temperature like plastic products and sensitive surgical materials, because which are thermolabile cannot be sterilized through these hot sterilization and steam sterilization. They have to be applied through ETO sterilization. Materials that are heat and moisture sensitive. So it has to be added with, it is explosive in nature, therefore carbon dioxide nitrogen has to be added to minimize this explosive property over there. Delicate surgical instruments like cystoscopes, heart-lung machines, bronchoscopes, implants are sterilized by this method. In tertiary level hospitals, for sterilization of costly and sensitive materials are used over there. So what it is expensive. Disadvantage of ETO is that it is expensive and takes a longer time and requires constant bacteriological testing of each load. For ETO, so it's very expensive. So material which is very expensive has to be sterilized through ETO. So its physical or chemical property of that material cannot be changed. So mostly you can see where disposable syringes, plastics, mostly you can see it is written over there, ETO, ethyl oxide sterilization. So that material which is thermolabile is sterilized through ETO method. Now this is the ETO sterilizer. You can see they place over there then apply that gas or whatever it is, and then it has to be sterilized through ETO sterilizers. Then chemical. The third one is chemical sterilization, where spores are also eliminated with microorganisms. Is typically used for devices that would be sensitive to the higher heat and use in steam. So in certain cases, when the rubber and plastic, which are highly thermolabile, so they can be used by application of various chemicals. Now, these are the various chemicals which are applied for chemical sterilization. Formaldehyde and glutaraldehydes, orthoptaldehydes, superoxide water, rapid read over ethylene, endoclines, liquid sterilizers, halogens. These are used for chemical sterilizations. Then of the last one is gamma radiation sterilization. Sometimes it also play a good role in the sterilization of articles of disposables. It has high reliability, high degree of penetration, and the diverse shape article can also be sterilized through the gamma radiation sterilizers. Now, when after sterilization, the material has to distribute to various sterile stores. System of distribution are this: topping up, each department set pre-down. So they have, every hospital have different type of distribution for sterile stores, or how they send that material to there. The topping ups, cleanup for dirty exchange, regular complete stock issue, ordinary order system. So it depends on the nature of the material, how it has to be distributed. Then they must have bacteriological testing over there, because in case of steam or hot air, they use various type of indicators or tapes which shows that the material is sterilized. Here, by bacteriological testing has to be done, because whether the material is sterilized or not, they have to take that air and it has go for culture, sent to laboratory for bacteriological testing. So they have to confirm with the help of bacteriological test, so whether it is sterilized or it is not.